They call me a wail because warning sounds too much like blame when death is near. A house hears me before it admits what it knows. The dog stops. The fire lowers. Someone looks toward the road though no foot has touched it yet. Then my voice arrives. I am Banshee. I do not kill. Let us begin there, since humans are addicted to accusing the messenger when the message carries a coffin. I come because death is already walking. I only arrive first. They write me as a woman of sorrow, a spirit, a fairy woman, a washer at the ford, a keening voice outside the family house, hair loose, eyes red, dress pale or dark, depending on who tells the story and how much rain the night remembers. They say I belong to old families. They say I follow bloodlines. They say my cry announces death before the door knows which hand will knock. True enough. Thin, but true. They love the sound more than the duty. The scream, the shriek, the wail in the dark. How theatrical grief becomes when someone else has to carry it. But keening is not noise. Keening is architecture. It gives grief a shape large enough for the living to enter. Here is what they do not write. I am not the death. I am the room preparing. I am the voice that begins the work before the body has arrived. I loosen the silence. I split the air. I teach the house how to become a place of mourning. Humans pretend grief begins when the body is seen. It does not. Grief begins when certainty leaves the room. A mother wakes before the news. A brother stops laughing mid-sentence. A widow touches the cup on the table and knows it will not be lifted by the same hand again. My voice only says what the blood has already heard. That is why they fear me. Not because I am wrong, because I am early. Do you know what sorrow sounds like before language? It is not crying. Crying has a face. Sorrow before language is older. It comes from the ribs. It has no manners. It does not ask whether the neighbors are listening. It rises like weather through the body and breaks at the mouth because the body cannot hold it any longer. That is my voice. Not performance, not curse, pressure. The living call it awful because it does not flatter them. It does not say death is peaceful when death has been cruel. It does not say he has gone to rest when the bed is still warm and the boots are by the door. My voice refuses good taste. Good taste has lied at too many funerals. I know families by what they try not to say. Some houses hold grief cleanly, others fight it. They wash the floor, they straighten the chair, they argue over messages, doctors, priests, inheritances, apologies, blame. They make tea because hands need work when the soul is useless. I stand outside, not because I am unwelcome, because grief must enter before I do. There are families I have followed for generations. Names changing, houses changing, language changing. But the blood remembering the same old shapes of loss. Do not romanticize that. A lineage is not only pride, it is also repetition. The same fear moving through different mouths. The same unfinished sentence waiting for a deathbed. They blame me because I am audible. Death is not. Death is efficient that way. It hides inside fever, road, sea, blood, age, accident, war, childbirth, hunger, the small betrayal of a heart that stops doing its work. Then I cry, and suddenly the house has something to point at. There, that sound, that woman, that omen, as if I opened the wound, as if silence would have saved them. Listen closely. Silence is not mercy. Silence is only ignorance with better posture. My cry is terrible, yes. But terror is sometimes the last honest courtesy before loss enters wearing a familiar face. Now they would draw me in Gothic shadow. Good. Stone halls, rain-black windows, a ruined abbey, a woman at the threshold, veil caught in no wind, candlelight turning tears into silver. It suits me, too well perhaps. Gothic style understands grief, but it loves the costume of grief so much it sometimes forgets the household. Do not make me a decorative ghost. Do not give me a pretty ruin and forget the kitchen where the news lands. Do not turn my cry into a horror sting because the editing software wanted attention. If you give me darkness, let it be domestic. If you give me a veil, let it be wet with actual mourning. If you give me a ruined tower, remember the smaller ruin, a chair no one will use again. That is where I live, not in the castle, in the absence at the table. I am outside the house now. The candle is low. Someone inside has already begun to understand. A hand has stopped moving. A letter has arrived. A horse has returned riderless. A phone rings in a century that thinks it has outgrown omens. How sweet, how young. They call me Banshee. They call me Kina. They call me Fairy Woman. They call me Death Omen. They call me dreadful because I do not wait for grief to become respectable. I call myself the voice that reaches the door before the body does. The record is sealed.
Subscribe.